And number two, you two are pretty sure that Curtis is happy this way?
Yes, I can see the smile on his face.
Somebody better be driving that thing if you're looking at the smile, number two. Number three, around mountains, if the wind is... Oh, okay, around mountains, how do you find a rising current?
Well, there's so many variations. You always usually want to take off into the wind and land into the wind. And you want to pick a right hill that's not obstructed by too many other obstructions like other mountains in front, or etc.
If the wind is blowing from the north, number three, do you want to approach the mountain from the north or the south?
If the wind is
from the north,
coming from the north, you'd like to approach it going toward north.
Going toward north?
Buzzer, and we go to Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, you had Curtis since he was a puppy?
Yes.
Well, now, in other words, you didn't get Curtis to teach him how to glide. You taught him how to glide because you had him.
Yeah, well, I kind of had to teach him how to glide, too.
Why was that?
After I started, he used to follow me down the dunes and the little things that I first, went down.
Yes.
And at one point, I went off a cliff, and he went off the cliff. And he broke his left foreleg. You can see limps. And after that, I decided to take him out.
Oh, well, number two, of course he loves it. All dogs, they like to go for a ride in an automobile even with the window open. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Number three, what would constitute an oxygen problem? How high would you have to be before it would be true for you and or the dog?
I think oxygen level is around 15,000, 16,000 feet.
I see. Thank you. Number two, would it be the same for a dog as for a human, an oxygen problem? Or would he...
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't. Lower would be... He would have a problem.
Would have more problems.
Lower, he would have more problems.
Higher.
Oh, higher. He could breathe easier than you could, in other words.
Right.
I see. How do you know that?
Well, we'll never find out unless we ask him during the commercial, right? Because that means it's time to vote. And is it number one? Is it number two? Or is it number three? Now, we pay $50 for each incorrect vote and $500 to our team of challengers if the votes are all wrong. Our voting's in, and Soupy Sales, you started it.
Well, they all were very good, but I've met a lot of hang glider pilots, and usually the guys are always surfing in the beach, and the number three has blonde hair, and he's been out in the open, and I think it's him.
Okay, pretty emphatic about that. How about you, Peggy?
Oh, I think number one story about the dog jumping off the cliff. Boy, my dog wouldn't do that. One.
Voted for number one. All right, you got a yay from the audience too, Peggy. How about you, Bill?
Well, number three, I think went toward the mountain from the wrong side, according to what I know. And number two says his dog is smiling. I don't think dogs smile.
They do too.
Do they really?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Say something about dogs. Peggy will let you know.
They just don't smile at you, Bill.
Oh. All right. I don't care. And for that very reason, I voted for number one. He's much.
Okay. Number one. How about you, Kitty?
Well, that's funny. I voted for number two. I don't care which side he goes off the mountain. But he said he knew that the dog would be apt to suffer from lack of oxygen at a higher level than he would. So I voted for him.
Well, that's pretty well scattered out. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to ask the gentleman to stand in front of the podium now. We'll let Curtis pick out the real Burke Ewing. Okay?
If he smiles.
All right, stand there. And come on, Curtis, if you're ready. Come on, Curtis. Come on.
There goes Curtis.
The dog is doing the bit where he's going back and forth.
That's funny.
Yeah, there he is. Okay.
That's right.
You want to go back, guys? Go. Curtis wants to make a speech. Let's find out who the imposters are. Number one, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Andy Hall, and I'm a student on leave from the University of Pennsylvania.
Okay. How about you, number two? What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Ray Stubbs, and I'm a part-time tax consultant with Computax, a computer tax service in New York.
Burke, how soon did you start hang gliding with Curtis? After he went off? That is a true story about him going off the cliff.
Yes, It was about 3 years ago. I had only been flying maybe 3 months, and he kept following me down mountains, and all the time we were always waiting for Curtis to come down. And I flew off a cliff, and he just jumped off, thinking that he was going to follow me, and he fell down at 30 or 40 feet and damaged his leg. After then, I knew.
You're right.
Bet you did. Boy, he sure is loyal to you. What a good dog. Thank you very much, Burke Ewing, and thank you, Curtis, and the two imposters for
smiling
playing
up.
our game to tell the truth. Thank you very much. I had a tough time bringing him out, and he wanted to stay with Burke. He's really a loyal dog. That's great.
Hang gliding film finished by Hugh Morton, Grandfather Mountain, North Carolina. This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Cotman production.